Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're doing good. Did you see the last tutorial that we did? And I hope it was clear. So guys, this is a continuation of the last tutorial. Like I said, we are going to be discussing how to cut the 360, 720 and 1080 degree flare today. For the 360, the formula for calculating the radius is circumference over 2 pi. And you know from the last tutorial, our radius was 26 inches. So we are still going to use the same radius so that you can compare the fullness of the flare amongst all the flares that we are going to make. I hope you understand. So the radius is circumference divided by 2 pi. And like we know, 2 pi is 2 times 3.14, which is 6.28, right? So 26 divided by 6.28, what we have is 4.14 inches. Now, to cut it, I am going to add 4.14 to the length of the peplum, which is 5 inches. First, let me approximate this 4.14. Let me approximate it to 4.25, which is the nearest that we have in inches. So 4.25 plus 5, that is 9.25. On my paper, what I'm going to do is to measure 9.25, okay, the radius plus the length. So let me measure it here again. Then I'm going to draw this into a straight line. This line will serve as the guide as to how we will fold our paper and the amount of fabric that we are going to need. So what you're going to do is to fold it this way on this line. You know it's a 360 degree flare, so we have to fold the paper or the fabric into 4. I'm going to measure 9.25 here again. And here. And I'll draw it into a straight line. And then I'm going to fold the fabric this way. The essence of doing all of this is so that you don't waste your fabric. Alright, so that you just don't fold your fabric anyhow and then you end up wasting a lot of fabric. So you know this is paper, so it's not easy for me to fold it like this. But since I already know the amount of fabric that I need, I can just cut this place out. So I can fold it using this line as a guideline. This is what I need. From this corner right here, I'm going to measure the radius. My radius is 4.25, and at the same time I'm going to measure the length. The length is 5, but like we did in the previous tutorial, you know, I added the length to the radius so that I can mark it at the same time. I am going to measure 4.25 and 9.25 at the same time. So to cut the fabric, cut 0.5 inch above the radius, 0.5 inch below the length. This is our 360 degree flare. You see, this is a full circle. So if you're joining it to a sleeve, for example, you just join it this way or to the bottom of your skirt, wherever. But if you need to add an opening, a zipper, you will have to cut one part up so that you join it and then you add your zipper or button. For the 720 degree flare, the first thing I want you to know about it is that a 720 degree flare is 2 circles of 360 degrees each. So there's no way you can cut it. You have to cut 2 full circles separately. So to cut 2 full circles, you'll need to get the radius of each of the circles. Alright? So there are 2 formulas actually, but the simpler one is what I'm going to tell you today so that you don't have to waste much of your time. To get the radius for one of the circles, you're going to divide the radius for a full circle. This was the one we did earlier. Radius for a full circle, that is 4.14. You divide it into 2. So 4.14 divided by 2, that is 2.07. I hope you understand. We are cutting 2 full circles. So in order to get the radius for one of the circles, divide the radius that you got for a full circle by 2. So 4.14 divided by 2, that is 2.07. So you are going to cut 2 full circles with radius of 2.07. That is it. I hope you understand. I don't want to take you through the other formula, which is long, and it's actually time wasting because this is simpler. Now, since we have the radius for the circle, which is 2.07, what I'm going to do is to add the length of my peplum, which is 5, to 2.07. Okay, so I can approximate this to 2.1. So 2.1 plus 5, that is 7.1. So I'm going to mark 7.1 on my fabric. From one corner, you know you always start from the corner, mark 7.1. Come here again, 7.1. Draw it into a straight line. Fold it over, following this line, and then you come here again to the folded parts, mark 7.1, come to the bottom part again, mark 7.1, and then you fold it over. So like I did earlier, I'm just going to cut this out. So you follow this line and then you fold it. After doing this, you're going to mark your radius and your length together. That is 2.1 and 7.1 at the same time. So after doing this, before you cut it out, I want you to use this to cut out another rectangle, another square, because it is actually a square. So here we have it. So I can fold it back. So to cut the fabric, cut 0.5 inch above the radius, 0.5 inch below the length. This is what I have. I have 2 full circles. So I can cut it open. So 360 plus 360 gives me 720, right? So I'm just going to join it at one end. You see it is very full. I'll put it on my mannequin for you to appreciate it better, all right? A 1080-degree flare is 360 in 3 places. So you need the radius of a 360-degree flare. So what you're going to do is this. Radius of a 360-degree flare is circumference over 2 pi, okay? So our circumference is 26, right? So radius is 26 over 6.28. The answer is 4.14. So after getting the radius of a full circle, what you're going to do is this. Just do 4.14 divided by 3, and that is 1.38. All right, so don't bother yourself with calculating and calculating. Just get the rate. If you're cutting a 720, get the radius of a full circle, divide your answer by 2. If you're cutting a 1080, get a radius of a 360 of a full circle, right? Divide your answer by 3. If you're cutting a 1440, get the radius of a full circle and divide your answer by 4. So now our radius is 1.38. So in order to cut it on your fabric, add the length to the radius. So I'm going to do 1.38, which of course I can approximate to 1.5. So let's do 1.5 plus 5. I'm going to come here, measure 6.5. Here again, measure 6.5. Then I'm going to fold it over. Okay, so after doing this, I'm going to draw out the radius. But before I cut it out, I'm going to use this to cut 2 other fabrics. So guys, I have cut 3 of this, 1, 2, and 3. So I'm going to fold it back. I'll place it on top of each other. So to cut the fabric, cut 0.5 inch above the radius, 0.5 inch below the length. So here I have 3 circles. 1, 2, and 3. So I'm going to cut them up and join them together. So with this, we have come to the end of the tutorial. The flare that you need depends on the fullness that you want and where you want it to be. Alright, the higher the number, the more the fullness of the peplum. Thank you guys for watching. If you have any questions, please ask and I will attend to all of them. Till we see you again next time, please take care of yourself. Bye.